self-described person who's had no physical ailments, no mental ailments, no stresses of any kind. So I don't think that using your experience per se is helpful because you haven't faced any of this. Because
no. You get me wrong here.
Okay.
I've faced pretty much every kind of hit that's a reason in the world. I've seen very hard situations. I've seen very tough situations. However, the point is, if you are able to respond instead of reacting, you have enough freedom. If you have enough freedom, you can integrate your life and your work the ways that is suitable for you. What I'm trying to say here is you have two options. You either give up your freedom because you don't take responsibility, or you take responsibility, deal with your shit, and you move on regardless of difficult situations. I mean, even veterans, I think, are a good example here. They have dealt with very hard situations. They still have to move on with life. And often they can't go back to a normal life. They have to find a different way to integrate their life and their new work outside of a military.
Okay. The thing is, Kerr, look, we're mates. We've known each other since the first lockdown. I wish you nothing but great and brilliant success in the world. I just feel when I'm listening to you talk that you're describing it. What do you call when you're pulled back away? Disassociated. It sounds disassociated to me, and I wonder. And this is the question I wanted to ask a little while ago, but it ran off in a different direction. But okay, this question, Kerr, is framed when dealing with someone in the UK as opposed to your home country, because it's a linguistic thing as opposed to I'm transmitting, having a conversation about the facts. Do you think your calmness inspires people to be more like you, or angers people more that they're not like you?
Well, it's very difficult to say. It depends on the person and their own inner activity. However, I can say only this, that if you understand the benefits of calmness, you will want it. And if you don't, then of course it can irritate you. There is a very good example. If there are two persons in a room and there is a stressful situation, one can get angry and irritated, the other can stay totally calm. The question is very simple. Who is the master of the situation?
The person who is calm in a stressful situation. In the military, this is true. We're trained this inside out and upside down. When you get into a situation that is outside of the norm and high stress, you have a gun to your head. Pretty simple. And the guy who is calm will probably not get shot, take the gun, and then use it on his aggressor or her aggressor. The person who freaks out and cries in a corner is probably not going to be very successful in defending themselves. There comes a point, though, however, when, as John was saying here, that calmness can not necessarily flow with the situation. You can be calm and everybody be like, why aren't you reacting to the situation? The situation calls for a reaction.
That's kind of what I was leaning on, yeah.
I think, however, so obviously practice mindfulness, all the rest of it, there are still times where you are under pressure because you are out of control of the situation. I can control me, but I cannot control the situation around me. Or, going back to the workplace thing, they can't turn around and say, well, I'd like to work from home this week because it suits me better, but you've got 40,000 units to get out. You end up in situations where you have to do what you're told. because the consequence of you not doing what you're told is to lose your job, and that's what puts you under stress. So maybe you're doing something you're not comfortable with, or maybe the work is too hard and fast for you, or maybe you just don't like the people that are around you. And okay, yes, you can look for another job and you can manage yourself in the workplace, but that puts a stress on you all the time anyway. Even just the stress of having to be aware of how you're responding all the time in this environment, or trying to find somewhere else where you can work.